So for this section, we're going to be talking about planning ahead and getting ahead of the curve on trends if you want to be covering some trends, but give yourself time to shoot and produce something a little bit more complex. What are some ways that people can do that?
Schedule or schedule, however you like to call it. Make one.
Schedule.
Make one.
Yeah, it's good to have a calendar for yourself and then to look up calendars online. There's a lot of stuff that's easily accessible, like nationaltoday.com, which tells you what themes or what's coming on. So today, for example, is Guacamole Day. Essentially, off the top of your head, can you come up with 3 video ideas that you could do around Guacamole Day?
How to make one?
What else?
The origin story.
What else?
Where is it popular from? The best place to find guacamole in a particular city.
Yep, and you can do a whole bunch of things around it, or maybe even other things to do with avocado, which is the base ingredient. But you'll find on this website, other things like Mexican Independence Day, Wife Appreciation Day. You'll get all of this, which is a great starting point. You can also get famous birthdays. So if you want to be doing a channel that is about entertainment, you can find your favorite
it's Nick Jonas's birthday.
If you had to make 3 videos about Justin Bieber.
How people find him annoying. How he's one of the biggest YouTube channels. And how not to be a Justin Bieber in a friends group.
Okay, that sounded a little bit biased, but I'll let it go. You also have a whole list of environment dates, which you can find on Wikipedia. So if you want to do something on International Polar Bear Day, World Wildlife Day, you have the date, it's going to trend on that day, so you can use that to boost your channel.
Does it always trend though?
It doesn't always trend, but a lot of them do, and once you start taking a look at these, you start noticing what is more likely to trend or not. So for example, International Day of Action for Rivers, I haven't seen as often, but World Water Day I know is a big one. Earth Day is a big one. You can probably just Google each of these individually and see if there's a lot of content around them, or even check on YouTube how many people are making videos around these days.
Or what particularly about it are they searching for? For example, the people might be searching for World Water Day schemes or World Water Day activities or World Water Day events. So you can do a listicle around events, or or attend an event on that day and do a video around it, so that that people would be interested in watching it. But is events an effective way of doing content for my channel, or does it get boring after a point, or how do you mix it up? What if I don't want to do just events?
You definitely should never rely only on events, because it can get boring not just for you but for your audience. And it can easily, depending on the type of day, fall into, maybe some things that you don't want to be. If you want to be an activist, then these days are great to talk about. If you don't want to be an activist, you might not want to be covering some of these days. But the whole point that we're trying to say is that there's always something going on that you can pick up on. So if you're struggling for ideas, then you have a whole bunch of resources that you can look for. Because just look at just today, all right? September 26th, World Environmental Health Day, right? Then if we go back, there are some 4 celebrity birthdays today, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Not even 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and more. Amy Poehler. And if you look here, it's National Guacamole Day.
And Wife Appreciation Day.
No, and Mexican Independence Day and Wife Appreciation Day. So every day has so many options. Not all of these are trending, but they're a good starting point, especially if you're new to coming up with ideas. Use this as your base, learn from it, and then fly away. And look at also watch what other people are doing with these days and trends and do something different. Because if you're not doing something different, then it's going to be really tough to build something concrete.
And how do I hold on to my channel's identity while also using this to build an audience and get more views without spending too much on advertising?
It really depends on what your identity is, but you just need to but instead of molding your channel to fit what these days are about, you need to find a way to make these days fit into what your channel is about. So if you are a Casey Neistat, for example, you can start off by being like, hey, it's National Guacamole Day, it's really healthy, I'm gonna go have a guacamole snack, and then I'm gonna go and run around the park for 3 hours, right? Like,
Yeah.
but it doesn't have to be about guacamole day. Or if you're MKBHD, you can be like, hey, since it's guacamole day, I'm gonna review this new iPhone while eating some guacamole, right? But he's
Yeah.
still about tech, which
Yeah.
is what his channel is about.
A good way to also keep yourself excited without having to just do the grind of the day after day after day is at least have like 50 ideas that you want to start off with. Even if they're not well fleshed out, they can just be hints or like a slight keyword that you might want to pursue that actually connect with what your channel is going to be a year ahead. So even if you publish one video a week, it is going to add up. It will add up to something that you can turn into bingeable content. Having that regularity also makes it easier for one, keeping it current, so that you have something or the other which is new, relevant, and will appeal to a lot of people who end up on your channel. And it will also keep you in the search directory for YouTube, where people looking for things will come across your video and want to watch it. And you will also be able to do stories that you want to, while giving them a twist that make them work online.
By making calendars for yourself, you can do things like bulk script, bulk shoot, bulk edit, and then free up time for coming up with other creative ideas. So you could, in the span, depending on how long your videos are and what your videos are about, you could feasibly within one day write enough scripts to last you a month, which is just 4 videos, right? And then you can spend one whole day shooting them, and then you can spend however many days editing them. You schedule them, and then you move on to other things.
Yeah.
It's possible. So there are a lot of options out there, and planning is really helpful if you're going to be launching into this.
So if I were to shoot all my videos in one day, I would reduce the time I spend on setting up. Even if it's a phone setup, lighting setup, or just finding a quiet place to shoot or going out, all I have to do is just change my shirt 4 times and it'll look like a different video. But that kind of foresight helps you save a lot of time in the long term.
Exactly. All right, so that's all we have for now. This is the last video for the first part of our series on YouTube. See you in the next round.